a rocket. Listen to this crowd.
The road to tip-off is brought to you by KUTV2 News. Talking sports, join Dave Fox and David James for complete coverage of the Utah Jazz this season. And yes, welcome to Smoothie King Center. The Jazz closing out their two-game preseason road trip tonight against the new-look Pelicans, including former Jazzman Derek Favors. Craig Bolerjack, you know him, Big T, Thurl Bailey. Glad you're alongside tonight. And yes, Derek Favors is here, but T, wearing a different uniform and also a different number.
Yeah, who would have ever thought that a member of the Wasatch Front would be missing? But listen, Derek Favors, we got to see him a while ago, but he's in a good place. He's on an exciting team. People are wanting to watch, but he's going to be against his old teammate tonight. Let's see how that turns out.
Yeah, let's talk about that matchup. Derek against Gobert. Rudy does make his preseason debut, and we know the value, T, of the two-time Defensive Player of the Year.
Well, that value that Rudy Gobert brings is immeasurable. We're talking about two-time Defensive Player of the Year, back-to-back. We know what he can do under the basket. He's even offensively a big deal for this Utah Jazz team. We'll see that tonight versus what they did against Milwaukee, but you can't measure the value he brings to this Utah Jazz team.
Yeah, led the league in dunks last year, 306. Expect more this season. Now, Zion Williamson, yes, AD's gone, so Zion is the new face of the Pelicans. And T, this 19-year-old is a special athlete, moves extremely well. Last season at Duke, averaged over 22, 68% from the floor, and those numbers earned him the #1 pick in the draft by New Orleans.
Well, you did say he was 19 years old, so that's amazing within itself with what he's been given. He's got an amazing basketball body. Obviously, he's going to affect the game right away. You see that stat against the Bulls the other night, 29 points, 12 for 13 field goals. Every single field goal was either a dunk or a layup. Now, that might be a different story tonight because Rudy Gobert may have something to say about that.
Yeah, let's hope so. Rudy does debut. He'll be a force in the middle tonight against Faves and Zion, and the Jazz trying to battle back from that loss in Milwaukee just a couple of nights ago. So when we come back, we'll give you the Pelicans and the Jazz, and also Quinn Snyder. He'll give us insight on Rudy's return and his debut next on AT&T Sportsnet. Welcome back to Smoothie King Arena in New Orleans. The Jazz ramp up their two-game preseason road trip tonight against the Pelicans alongside Coach Q. And here we go. We get to see Rudy tonight as you try to blend him into the starting five.
Yeah, and Rudy and Joe and Mike and a bunch of guys, Boyan, playing together. It sounds, like a cliche, but I think we are a work in progress at this point, and probably will continue to be. And really, every team is. New Orleans is going through the same thing, trying to, assimilate. So it's good. The more you can play and play your guys, and kind of trying to find a feel, and you're able to, get a barometer about, what you're comfortable in, what you need work on, and that feedback is really important.
You and I talked this morning about roles and the importance of each of these players understanding what was last year may not be the same this year, and just finding out their roles and accepting that.
Yeah, sometimes when you talk about roles, it kind of rings of like limitation, and that's really not the case with this group. I think it's, to your point, Bowler, I think that that's a dynamic thing, and we'll find out more about guys and how they play together in combinations and as we go along. But I think right now, particularly having people playing together, they can all get more comfortable with each other, and we can see as coaches where we can help them and where they can help each other.
Coach, as always, best of luck tonight.
Thanks, Will. Appreciate it.
That's Coach Q. Just around the corner, we'll have lineups and tip time right here in New Orleans coming up next on AT&T Sportsnet.
Can he win it here?
Jazz basketball on AT&T Sportsnet is brought to you by Mountain America Credit Union, featuring their lowest Visa rate ever. Your Utah Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places. Les Olson Company, your office technology partner. Zions Bank, for a noteworthy approach to banking. Zions Bank is for you. Vivint Smart Home. Live more, manage less. New Skin. Discover the best you. And by KUTV Talkin' Sports. Follow the road to tip-off. Join Dave Fox and David James for complete coverage of the Jazz this season. It's a Friday night in New Orleans, and welcome to Smoothie King Center. The Jazz on the road to battle the Pelicans tonight, moments away from our starting five for both clubs. And let's go courtside, KK, as we talked about. We've seen Derek Favors. You talked to him today, and boy, it's tough to see him in a new uniform.
Yeah, Bowler, and a new number, and a new look, new hair, which his former teammates were definitely giving him a hard time about that earlier today. But look, he's the same Derek Favors. I had the chance to talk to him in a one-on-one, which you guys can see at halftime, and he's genuinely misses his old teammates. He really is appreciative of the time he spent in Utah, and again, you can hear more of that exclusive one-on-one at halftime, but I did have to ask him about playing his old teammate, Rudy Gobert, playing against him today. He described it, hey, that's just gonna be weird. I used to go up to him against practice, but right now, I'm sure tonight, he's gonna be talking trash, both he and Joe, so that's gonna be fun. And I said to Faves, I said, hey, Faves, well, you never talk about opposing bigs, so why now? He's like, oh, yep, you're right, KK, I never talk about opposing bigs. But you know what? I'm done talking about Rudy. Rudy knows, he knows, and guess what? He's not going to miss playing against me tonight. It's going to be fun. I love that, guys.
All right, so Gobert will play his first minutes of the preseason. Excited to get him back on the floor. He just looked at us and gave us a nod. Lineups are presented by Zions Bank. And for a noteworthy approach to banking, Zions Bank is for you. Conley and Mitchell in the backcourt for the second time. O'Neal will get the start tonight. Off the bench comes Joe Ingles. O'Neal started 16 games last year for Quinn Snyder. Bogdanovich and Gobert falling hard in the backcourt for the Pelicans with Ingram, the #1 pick, Zion Williamson, and former Jazz fan D. Faves. Should be a fun game, T.
Absolutely a fun game. You're talking about the preseason debut of Rudy Gobert for the Jazz, and then Zion, his preseason debut at home. So I'm not sure it's going to get more exciting than this. Plus the fact that we just talked about Derek Favors. I mean, look at that right there. It looks strange, doesn't it, having Rudy Gobert go up against Derek Favors for the jump ball.
I got to be honest, both of these guys right now are trying to hold back some laughs and smiles.
Yes, they are.
You can tell. They're biting their lip, but here we go. Our officials, Trey Maddox, Jonathan Sterling, and Brandon Adair. It's game number 3 of the preseason for the Jazz, and the tip is up and won by Rudy.
Now it's all business.
Mike Conley trying to find his groove with Donovan Mitchell. Fires a pass off to Bogdanovich, drives baseline. Royce O'Neal gets bumped in a foul, and Zion will pick up foul number 1.
It's just like Coach Quinn Snyder drew it up in shoot-around this morning. The first play was really to kind of get that ball moving, get the blender going, and get the best shot within that.
Zion, #1 pick overall last summer out of Duke, just 19 years young. He shot 68% from the floor last year. Rudy, remember, went 69 to lead the NBA. Bogey shot misses, and here comes Lonzo Ball, the former Laker, who was part of that trade with the Lakers for Anthony Davis back on July 6th. Got him a fresh start for Lonzo. Ball goes down low, tackled, and tell you what, Royce O'Neal now got a little physical with Zion Williamson. As you mentioned, too, he only missed one shot 2 nights ago against Chicago.
Yeah, and they're all were in the paint. So Rudy's going to be help side. The concern is who's going to help Rudy if Zion starts to pass the ball. So let's keep an eye out for that.
Josh Hart gets the start tonight. Drew Holiday did not suit. Long 3, and the rebound to Bogdanovich. Maybe out of Ball's range. That was a deep attempt from outside. Boyan looking for a cutter inside, lobs it, and Rudy runs it down. A minute into the first quarter. Donovan, right to left hand. Works behind the screen of Rudy Gobert. The high floater, banked it off the glass, and the ball comes loose. Not sure, T, he wanted to pass that ball to Gobert, but that ball went a little strong off the window.
Yeah, it did. And as Derek Favors takes a 3. We saw a little bit of that in Salt Lake City, but the key for the Jazz is to continue to run their stuff to get in sync.
Conley, beautiful. Outside, he kicks it to Bojan. Gives the ball out, tried to pass it back to Conley, and they turn it over for the first time. Zion, ball deflected out of bounds. And a nice job running back on D by Royce.
That's what Royce O'Neal does best. You watch this. Everybody in the house thinks this is an easy dunk, but Royce O'Neal thinks differently. Great defense.
Corner three, falls short by Hart. Also the former Laker, part of that AD trade. Conley, the lob, and the two-hand flush. Gobert.
I've been waiting to do this too because I didn't get any in Milwaukee, but that Ford dunk means another $50 donation to the Utah Food Bank, courtesy of your local Ford store. Go Ford, go further.
First two of the night took 2 minutes, T, to get one on the board. Here's a step back Jay. Sweet shot down. Brandon Ingram, also a former Laker. Number 2 pick overall back in 16 from Duke. They were tied early at 2, and offensive against Bogdanovich.
Right here, this is when you know the timing is getting better, like we've seen in practice. Rudy Gobert makes a huge difference off that pick and roll because you either have to choose to guard the point guard, which was Mike Conley at that time, or Rudy Gobert.
Royce O'Neal trying to force that ball out of the hands of Williamson. Whistle for the foul, second team foul here to start. Sixth season with the Jazz, Quinn Snyder. That record's impressive. And T, 3 straight postseason appearances for Q.
Absolutely. And obviously with all the moves this summer, higher expectations this year.
Williamson inside and a finger roll. He's a powerful player, quicker than maybe people think at 6'7", 285. Rudy hands it to Donovan between the legs. 14 on the shot clock. 3 minutes in, first quarter. Jumpers away, short. Ball's loose to Bogdanovich. Reset it. Here's O'Neal. Wide open 3-ball. Spins it up and down. Nice hit by Royce O'Neal, who shot 39%, remember, a year ago for Utah.
Yes, nice shot, but nice ball movement by the Jazz. Not giving the defense a chance to set up.
Williamson showing some outside ability. You betcha. Wow. 5 quick ones for Zion. He shot 34% as a freshman at Duke last year from behind the arc.
Well, if Zion's able to hit that shot consistently, that takes his game to a whole nother level.
Donovan twists and turns and knocks down his first 2. He scored 14 on Wednesday night. Hit 5 of 9 shots in that tough loss to Milwaukee. Ingram the foul.
Just amazing how this young man can handle that body. That part kind of reminds me of a young Charles Barkley, where he's undersized but is able to overpower everybody under the basket, and he's going to be a phenomenon in this league.
He's got tremendous feet. As I'm watching him dance around trying to guard Royce O'Neal, here's a wide open Mike Conley, pumps up a 3. There it is. Soft touch, beautiful. He had a struggle 2 nights ago. We all know that. He was 0 for 6, but a nice shot to get some confidence rolling for Mountain Mike. How about that?
Yeah,
Mountain Mike Conley.
I kind of like that.
Reverse shot, rolls it in. Lonzo Ball's first 2. Conley, baseline, floater.
Wow.
About 5 quick ones for Conley.
Love to see that early, Bowler.
You know what I think's impressive is you shake off what was and just focus on what is.
Yeah, because this Jazz team knows what the important thing is for them to progressively get better and understand what Coach Quinn Snyder wants of them. And the timing is starting to get there. Obviously, really makes a big difference being in the game.
Ingram against Bogdanovich, pulls the trigger. Got a whistle on that shot. Did Bogey get him with a?
I think Bogey got him on his elbow.
That's 2 quick on Bojan.
Right here, Mike Conley, nice little pump fake, little floater right there. We've seen him do that in the lane, but it's nice to see it on the sideline, and that's a nice 2 points for his birthday, Bowler.
Yeah, 32 years young. Happy birthday. I tell you, we were at shoot-around this morning, I got to admit, T. And now you're the singer of the group, right? I can't carry a tune. But the rookies were asked to sing happy birthday. They need some work.
Yeah, they do need some work. And, I still do a few concerts around. I'm not sure I let them open for me right now.
I don't think so. I don't think so. They gave it a good try, though.
They did.
Yeah.
And that's what rookies do. They give it their best.
Ingram misses the front end. He'll get another. He was a number 2 pick back in 2016 out of Duke, and that shot's not going to count. Lane violation. Jumping a little early was Melli. Niccolò Melli, the rookie out of Italy. 7 minutes to play in the opening quarter. And the Jazz up 12-9. Conley, nice start with 5. O'Neal's knocked down the 3 ball. Gobert holds. Nice pass down low. Baseline. Bogdanovic bangs inside. Mismatch with Ball and hooks it in for his first 2 of the night.
Man, it's so nice to have a multi-purpose wing like Bogdanovic. We know he can stick the 3, and we'll see plenty of those as Ball misses that 3.
5 consecutive shots put in by Utah. Deep 3, no. Donovan skies high for the rebound. Melli misfires from downtown. O'Neal flies it to Bogdanovic, trying to find a rhythm, you betcha. And right there, Alvin Gentry right in front of Bogdanovic calls timeout. And the Jazz on a 15-5 run. I mean, this is night and day what we saw Wednesday in Milwaukee. Conley hot. Bogdanovic fires it from the corner. 3 threes for the Jazz in the opening minutes of play here in New Orleans.
Mike Conley and the Jazz off to a hot start here at Smoothie King Center. Now, Mike Conley in his 13th year, but he told me this is the first time ever in his career that he's been challenged in a new way. Take a listen.
It looks like as if I'm, first or second year player all over again. Just trying to understand and figure out so many things that about the game, about the system that obviously I didn't know beforehand. And you get comfortable, 8-9 years in a row being in a comfortable system and understanding that role so well that you come here and things change so quickly. So he's, coach has been just on me and keeping me tight and ready to go.
Guys, he elaborated on that with me as well and said that, look, Quinn Snyder's system, a lot of reads, a lot of options, that's what makes it so hard for people to guard us. We're learning right now on the fly, so that's why preseason right now, this is such a good time for us, a critical time.
And T, also, we talked about this at shoot-around this morning as Rudy picked up his first foul, Zion the free throw. But it's also what was the language he was so used to in Memphis and now trying to translate that through the Quinn Snyder language dictionary.
That's exactly right. And listen, he's a quick study, though. We know that. But the other part of it is the way he played for so many years with the Grizzlies, right? That's why it was called the grindhouse. Now it's kind of the opposite right now. Jazz are getting up and down. The tempo is going to change somewhat, but he'll catch on really quickly.
Jeff Green just jumped on the floor and did pick up a pivot foot, and so he picks up the turnover. They will not allow Joe Ingles on the floor. Didn't get to the scores table in time. Joe perched right in front of you. He wants on the floor. Pelicans. Zion. Here's Ball. Step back 3. Up and in. Lonzo.
You talked about the guys like Ball and Ingram that came over from the Lakers. I mean, this is a kind of a new start for these guys too.
Jeff Green lets it fly, rolls it in. 2 rattles like bumper pool, T.
That's a nice shot just coming into the game by Jeff Green.
Jazz are smoking hot, 4 for 4 from outside. Inside pass, Zion lost the handle. I heard a whistle. Rudy was there, Conley there. And it's going to be on Conley, his first.
Well, the Jazz's task on defense, obviously, is to not let Zion have such an easy time. But now with J.J. Redick in the game, he's excellent when he's moving. And so you've got another dangerous weapon there. But
how about that trio? AP College Player of the Year, Zion, AD, Kevin Durant.
That's a nice list.
First miss from the line, and the rebound to Bogdanovic. points, 2 rebounds for Williamson. The Jazz led by Bogdanovich and Conley with 5 apiece. Inside, Rudy and 1. Beautiful move. Stayed with it, took a couple of hits low around the hips. But T, I like the fact he kept his feet and finished.
Yeah, nice strong finish. Nice movement, back door right here. Just an automatic read for Rudy. But one of the things I think that Rudy has been working on, especially over the summer, was finishing strong.
81 games last year. Nearly 16 points, nearly 13 rebounds. And a 3-point play for Gobert. There's Alvin Gentry, 5th season. Last year, 13th in the West. T. They're expecting much better this year with this team retooled.
So are their fans. I mean, obviously with the Anthony Davis thing, it's a little bit awkward, but now that Zion's here, these fans are expecting some big things.
There's Jackson, who played at Lone Peak High School. And how he finished, that was a tough, strong move on the baseline.
It was tough. Frank has great explosion on that first step, and he's going to see, after an injury-riddled first season, he's going to see a lot of minutes this year as well.
Tries to slow down Donovan, beautiful crossover, launches it up and just off the rim. That was the first miss after 8 consecutive makes from the floor for Utah. Melly. No. Rebound. Bogdanovich. Ed Davis set the check in for Utah as we roll up on the 4-minute mark. Jazz 1-1 in preseason. The Pelicans 2-0. They beat Atlanta and Chicago. Both those games on the road, Thurl.
Yep.
Tough pass and just out of the reach of Joe. And Utah gives it away for the 4th time here in the first. Davis comes in, Gobert will come out. And Royce O'Neal will check in, and Bogdanovich will get a rest. So you have on the court Donovan and Joe with Davis, Green, and Royce O'Neal. And Thurl, I think what the Jazz have done also in this offseason was to get Quinn Snyder multiple different combinations. That time it broke down as Jackson went up high for the slam. But there's a lot of different looks.
There is. Yeah, and obviously defensively, when the opponent sees Rudy Gobert go out of the game, they're going to attack the basket like Frank Jackson did a minute ago.
Donovan drills home a 3. 5-point quarter. Last year averaged nearly 24 points a game, 5+ free throw attempts. That's something we'll keep an eye on as the year opens up in over a week. How many times does Donovan get to the stripe this year?
Young fella out of Lone Peak High School goes up and over everybody. He says, well, Rudy's not there. I'm gonna take a chance.
Foul on Kenyon Williams, his first. Team's third.
Jazz doing a lot better job this game, just being patient with the offense. Not trying to dribble the ball too much, passing it around, trying to get the defense off kilter to get a good-looking shot.
Jeff Green, nice pass down low in the finish on a layup by Royce. I'd say that's a veteran pass into a very athletic 3-year pro, Royce O'Neal. For this second end, Kendrick Williams knocks home a 3. There's a corner 3, O'Neal. One bounce off. Davis, a vacuum trying to rebound, and that one is off of Ed Davis. Timeout Utah at the 2:28 mark. Ed Davis had 7 boards in Milwaukee. He'll take a breather. Jazz up by 6 on the road.
White, DeRozan.
Craig Bolerjack, Big T, Chris and Kenny back in New Orleans. The Jazz red hot from outside, 5 of 7, leading the Pelicans 28-22. And Thurl, this is really sweet. Jazz Nation, listen, the Utah Jazz are raising money for Make-A-Wish Utah and Larry H. Miller Charities as part of game night with the Utah Jazz, their annual charity event. bid on cool items like this one. How about a round of golf with Mike Conley at Willow Creek Country Club? I mean, wow. It doesn't get any better than that, right? To make a bid, you can go to 32auctions.com/Utah Jazz Game Night. We're going to kind of preview some of the highlights of this online experience. And if you'll be surprised at what's on that auction list.
There's a lot of great things on there.
I thought I saw maybe you coming over. Maybe you coming over
private
for a little private concert. Yeah. Everyone's texting, tweeting into Mike Conley a happy birthday. Alexander Walker just checked in out of Virginia Tech, hits a three. Nikhil Alexander Walker. 2 minutes to play, opening quarter. I think he's gone deep to his bench here in the first. Green rolls in. He can finish. He's 240 out of Georgetown. He's knocking down 64% of his shots, T, in the preseason, and rolls in for his fifth point of the night.
It's a tough shot. You got the defense right in your face, and you're able to step through and follow through like that. That's a great shot by Jeff Green.
2 fouls on Williams, and that free throw falls off the iron. Jackson into front court against Conley. There's JJ, 14-year pro. That shot had a great look. Maybe too open, T.
Well, the shot he really wanted was a quick jumper off that screen. That's what he's best at, but he can hit that floater every once in a while.
Conley goes baseline, ball's forced out of bounds, 17 on the shot. JJ Redick, he'll be 36 in June.
Man, 36. Still running off screens like that.
He was in Philly the last 2 years. He's been around this league, but boy, what a three-point shooter. Career 41%. Conley picks up the handle, throws it through the hands of Davis, picked up by Royce. Drills it home for three.
Now, some people thought that pass may have been for Davis, but it wasn't. He saw Royce O'Neal in the right place where he was supposed to be. Has a great pass to him.
Three-pointer, right back at you. Alexander Walker. He's hit a pair since coming off the bench. Jeff Green rolls the shoulder. Nice spin. Lays it in, left hand. That's a big-time move.
Oh, my gosh.
That is a big-time move.
For a guy that size, to be able to dribble in the paint, spin around, and lay it up off the glass like that, fantastic.
Threes are falling. Nicolo Melli knocks down at three.
Pelicans aren't messing around either. They're getting some good looks at the basket, knocking it down.
Jazz shooting 74% from the floor. Pelicans at 53, nearly 53%.
Watch this move. This guy's 6'9". Nice spin, nice pirouette in the paint. Off the glass. You go, Jeff Green.
You know, I look back at some of the vets the Jazz signed in the offseason, and there's a lot of high draft picks. Don't forget, Jeff Green was a number 5 selection by the Celtics back in 07. And right now we got a hot hand on the floor, and his name is Nicolo Melli. 35-34 Utah, but the Pelicans tee on a 15-7 run.
Yeah, and interestingly enough, as the clock ticks down, with Rudy not in the game, the Pelicans have elected to shoot from the outside because it's working.
That was a kick ball. 4.3 to shoot. And Jingle and Joe will inbound the pass, or the ball here. Time to get a couple of dribbles away. Looks inside, goes out. Here's Conley. Shot clock at 3. They double him. The ball's loose. Floater at the horn. Bounces off. And 12 minutes complete in New Orleans. Conley with a 5-point performance along with Donovan Mitchell. O'Neal led the way with 8. And Jeff Green was superb with 7. Zion Williamson, an 8-point first quarter to lead the Pelicans. Favors and Gobert. They opened up in the middle. The Jazz up by 1. What a view of downtown New Orleans. We start the second quarter here at Smoothie King Center. And the Jazz own a lead of 35-34. I tell you, the three ball's been big. Yeah. 13 makes. The Jazz was 6 and the Pelicans was 7. And for Utah, 6 different players have knocked down multiple field goals in the first quarter of play. There's DeFaves, gives it up. Joe Ingles was riding his back. The shot is away and good again. Alexander Walker, that's 3 threes here in the first half.
Well, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Pelicans have really found that 3 ball, and they're going to stick with it.
George Niang checks in. Out comes Royce O'Neal. 9-0 run, New Orleans. Niang, terrific three-point shooter last year, 41%. Trying to find a stroke here in the preseason, just 2 of 12 from downtown. Conley with the left-hand dribble up against Jackson from Lone Peak High School. Conley gets it back, slides down the baseline. Davis can't finish. Guess who? The rebound, put it back home, big fella. And Davis scores his first 2.
And that's what Davis is the master of. I mean, he just is a vacuum down there with rebounds. Nice job on the follow-up after his own miss.
Rebound Davis. Davis with 3 rebounds early. Joe, high floater.
I missed that.
I do too. Joe, way to go. Did not play at Milwaukee, so he's well rested. Foul. Favors went strong.
Yeah, we've seen Faves grab enough pocket passes in the past to know he's not going to fumble that ball too much. There's not a lot Ed Davis could do once Faves got to the rim.
Jazz all-time ranks, 3rd in field goal percentage, 4th in rebounds. Shot blocker.
Interesting too about Faves when he started with the Jazz. He was more of kind of a post-up big, and just learned how to play without having to post up, especially backing Rudy up defensively, but even offensively sometimes learn how to hit that 10-15 foot jump shot and then work his way out to maybe get 1 or 2 threes a game as well.
He was part of that Darren Williams trade. My goodness, Davis behind the back, no look, put it down with 2 hands. I remember when Faves walked in, though, he was just kind of like a lost 19-year-old. Can't blame him, but he grew up in a Jazz uniform. Jackson on the drive baseline.
Frank Jackson has really gotten good. We talked about that first step being an explosive one, but even when he gets around the rim, at being able to finish, just like that righty, just put off the glass.
Well, he played 61 games, T, as a rookie last year. 8 points, couple of rebounds. Joe goes inside, dumps it off. Davis left hand. Davis with 6 points, 3 quick buckets here in the second.
Joe Ingles is probably one of the best players I've seen that plays at his own pace and still is able to create shots for himself and for guys like Ed Davis.
Jackson follows up the miss once, twice, and a rebound to Davis. Quick turn, turns around and hands it to Joe into the front court. Jeff Green fills the paint. Oh, hammer home, beautiful move, and another assist by Jingle and Joe. I'll tell you, Green and Davis right now, they've combined for 15 points in this first half for Utah. Favors find some space, jump it, hook it, rebound it, Davis. Conley with a deep 3. Favors clears it away. 3 minutes in, second quarter, timeout. Alvin Gentry wants a timeout. See some interesting plays here in half number 1. Athletic, I think, is the word.
Yeah, both teams doing a great job right here, but the alley-oop, this means that the Jazz's timing is getting a lot better. Jeff Green showing it how it's done. Jazz up by 4.
This year. But that pass right there, that should count for something.
Chance to win and bid on this authentic autographed Donovan Mitchell City Edition jersey. You can't find this one in the team store. So tonight, again, you guys can go and visit online, a part of the Game Night online auction. Go to 32auctions.com/Utah Jazz Game Night. The Jazz are raising money for Make-A-Wish Utah and Larry H. Miller charities. Now I understand, Big T, there's some other player favorite packages out there, one for Rudy Gobert, Joe Ingles, and you already started bidding on the Mike Conley one, right?
Yeah, it said LEY on it, Bowl. I thought it was Bailey, but it's actually Conley. I was getting ready to sign it.
I had to stop you from signing that, thinking that Big T was going to sign that. But no, Mike Conley will sign that jersey, and they'll be online for auction, so take advantage. Mitchell on a drive inside. Can't finish off the window, and the rebound by Faves. Zion Williamson back on the court. Here's Josh Hart. Spins that one wide right, and Royce O'Neal right place, right time for the rebound. There's just a different feel tonight, T, than what we had 2 nights ago. Confidence, kind of a different hop in the step of the Jazz. Here's Joe, left hand, goes inside, back out. Royce O'Neal straight away 3, bang, got it. Royce getting the start tonight as Quinn Snyder looking at different combinations. As he talked to before we tipped off tonight, he talked about roles and how players may have to accept different roles throughout this season.
Absolutely, absolutely, and it's amazing the different pieces that are on this Jazz team this year. And Jeff Green's out there holding his hand in the air because I thought he got a clean block on this Zion attempted dunk. But yeah, the Jazz have so many moving pieces right now, and they've got so many areas covered. The guys are going to be in different roles for sure.
Utah has started this quarter with a 7-0 run, knocking down 6 of their first 8 shots. All right, this call has been challenged and we'll come back. Yeah, that light is blinking green, and we'll come back and review it with you after this timeout on AT&T Sportsnet.
Commitment that this guy has shown. Let me shut up. James off the steal. James with the stuff. That's a way to get your first bucket, Marv. The steal and the finish. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Brown. There's James to the bucket again.
Back to LeBron. They're going back and forth here, up and down. LeBron to the rim, another one. 2 tomahawk dunks, and the building is on its feet.
Shot clock is off. Hardaway to Trier. Trier drives down
and throws it down.
Alonzo Trier. Talk about an exclamation point. Lob. Do you believe that one? Didn't think he could get it.
A one-hand redirect jam by Anthony Davis.
Drew's got Alfred, and he's got AD on the trail. AD going
throw it down even harder.
Jared Allen. Timeout, Kenny Atkinson. We knew he was going hard to the hole. Fortunately, a good landing.
Up by Rozier, 8 seconds to go. Rozier lead for Tatum, gallops ahead of Paul George, and throws down a highlight slam over him.
Ooh. Paul George got some of that.
Jason Tatum putting it down with 5.5 remaining.
Oh my goodness gracious! You don't see that every day in the NBA.
Well, why not, T, in preseason, try to understand and work the analytics of the coach's challenge. And so they challenged, and it was overturned. It was overturned. Here it is.
As well as it should have been. I mean, that was a clean block.
On top of the ball, absolutely. So what they're going to do now is take this ball to center court, and they will jump it. So calls you can challenge, T. You ought to write this down. Fouls, goaltending, out of bounds. Must use a timeout. Can only challenge fouls, by the way, in the final 2 minutes.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure of all the intrinsics and the value of it, because obviously New Orleans can get possession again on this jump ball. I guess it saves Zion from going to the line, potential of knocking down.